resize that so people can see. Okay, so we are reviewing for Sludge, the ABBA player on the side. Typically, when I do VOD reviews, I'm checking for the micro and the macro of what causes a player to win or lose. So we'll just be taking notes as we go through and stop and make comments.
Ooh, Sludge immediately putting a Johnson, but the parry already coming to life.
So Sludge got into Jealous Rage really fast there.
Very aggressive in this matchup.
Yeah,
Especially
both players flying, not able to find the Johnson. Sludge keeping some strong pressure here. They're gonna lose Jealous Rage.
Yeah, you ended up dropping the combo, which is not great.
But with that aerial grab, they're gonna get some more back.
Yeah. Into some quick damage for a hard knockdown and enough to kill.
Hopefully this isn't too loud for you guys.
Okay.
So no punish.
Okay.
Ooh, overhead's gonna find
Wow.
its mark, putting them in the corner. Enough for the hard stick. Into wall.
Nice
break.
conversion.
Keep that Jealous Rage alive. Burst still on the table for both players here.
Try to keep that as much as they can. Okay, they go for the super to get some plus frames.
Able to get the air block, stay mostly alive. Johnson finds its target. Ooh, but not able to.
I'm seeing a couple of times where you're running low on Jealous Rage and then uninstall, just immediate reinstall in neutral.
They deny
It's pretty risky.
Sludge from any meter by using that wire receiver.
Let's take a look at this. Let's back up real quick. So you got hit with tether, which first off,
Able to just keep the pressure.
if baiken ever does the tether, you should 6p
Gets
it
the tether.
and just blocked. Okay.
They deny
And now we're just swinging like crazy.
using that wire receiver. But again, there's a lot.
Ooh, and the
That's what I meant
coming
here.
out full force. Able to get the tether.
No idea what to do with baiken. Okay, we'll talk about it in a second.
This could.
Ooh, and that
Nice
isn't
confirm.
enough for Sludge to hit. That is the problem with the tether. That can be. Only have it.
They definitely do.
Let's see here. Two with far slash on round start. Interesting choice. First, I mean, I like far slash on round start,
Lock it down right now.
but you're going crazy on that one.
You do hold the dust button there for a little combo.
A lot of jumping.
Can't quite find the cross up. Dashes in with the Johnson on the Jealous Rage with a quick parry.
There's all your meter.
Oh, and the next one comes out right after. Into RC.
I gotcha.
You can't
Okay.
tell me that Johnson was
I mean,
reactive
yeah,
without
using far slash in general, I think far slash on round start is really good.
so stupid.
I was just surprised you went twice for it. Okay, no confirm there. That sucks.
Oh, dodge like catches. This could be a very, very nice combo.
Oh, yeah, great wall
There
stick.
was.
Keeps Jealous Rage
That's a great
alive.
combo though.
Yeah, they go out of the mode, then get the key drops to get even more than they started with.
Nice.
Keeps the pressure strong. Immediately back in the corner into overhead, and that's going to be enough to take it even.
Lovely to see there.
Okay, nice.
And a little perfect coming from the
Yeah, 7 beautiful letters coming onto this train. Both players, I'd say, with a dominant first round.
Alright, let's see how it should do here. Blocking at all lows, mash on the frame trap,
Getting the counters and not going for anything else.
no 6p
Are able to
on
find that tether.
the
Walk
tether.
in the corner.
That Kagari is going to be painful, and this is a good chunk of their damage, half of their remaining life.
Yeah, with a hard knockdown, positive bonus, right back into the tether.
Try to go
Whoa.
for the Johnson. Okay, the POC is
Coming out, they are able to stay safe. Oh, but they love that parry. Keeping them safe. Johnson comes out, forces the burst.
Okay, good choice. Oh, but
Ooh, a nice
Okay.
little post to take it for them. XR coming a lot.
no. Median into it. Doesn't take the opportunity for some more medium, so. Oh. And there gets cut off.
Hello.
Quick
Welcome to the
Johnson,
chat.
Nice little pickup first out on both.
Yeah, we'll talk specifically about baiken. I'm interested in watching to see if I've had some else, and then I'll open up the lab and we can talk about some specifics. I want to try to get a view here.
Nice
So
counter hit out of the corner. Able to get the
Baiken's
good
counter hit is
damage.
definitely
Johnson
really
timing
scary on her
perfectly
far
well.
slash
Put
since she gets
together a
hard
whiff.
knockdown now.
Little tatami comes
Um,
out.
Baiken's pressure, the tatami mat,
Tether could turn its
lets
head
her.
on Baiken here.
I like that
YRC
setup,
gonna come out of the table.
but you're mashing on YRC.
Still looks good.
That was a great block.
Oh, this might.
Nice overhead into Donzai with
Okay.
a key grab to follow up. PRC comes out.
They didn't do it early enough, or they didn't
It's
do
a
it
nice
enough.
combo.
They didn't get the meter for the first one. And that
Okay.
is going to do it. The first round going to Exar.
A great little Yozanson able to take that.
So something I'm seeing a lot of is struggling to anti-air Baiken. Baiken in particular does a lot of really. She's got a lot of great air to ground options. Let me pull up the training mode real quick. I don't even think that's resized properly. Hold on a second. There we go. Donzai in Fear. Donzai is really good. I personally am not a big fan of it in neutral. Hold on, this is really loud. Let me turn the volume down on this. Alright, is that... Hopefully that's not too loud. Well, actually, let me do it the other way. Gotcha. So, as you already ran into several times, that Baiken was calling you out whenever you ran up to them in parry in neutral and was just parrying. I think it's... There we go. We'll just go forward, parry. You have to be really careful not to just get slapped by this constantly. Baiken is one of the few characters that actually has answers to Donzai on meaty, because parry will beat Donzai as a meaty option. Yeah, I mean, Baiken's parry is very scary. The thing about it is, it's just one of those like all matchup encompassing moves that she has that you just kind of have to respect and work around at all times. Um, Characters deal with it in different ways. As you know, I mainly play Mei, and so a lot of times when I play with Baiken, I even just try to ignore running Oki on Baiken because parry is such a annoying threat to deal with. Anything that beats Ozai is unfair. I mean, that's real. Yeah. Not being able to run normal Oki versus Viking is definitely really tricky. Side swap styles of Oki, I think, actually do work really well. Let me change my button so I can take over. Actually, so let me go back and switch it over. Projectile Loki is really good for that very reason. You play Testament, right? Um, I'm switching it back over here. So one of the things that I like to route into Jealous Rage Continuous. So one of the things I like to route into is this side swap setup. Close slash, and it gets a side swap. It messes up projectile, or sorry, it messes up parry and reversals often because they have to know what side you're going to go on. The way that you can consistently route into this is like mid-screen. Anytime you get like a 2S, Donzai hit, just right into Rekka, and as long as you're not in the corner, this will side swap. So I do this a lot, like when my back's to the wall. Sorry, messed that up. You get the idea. Basically, off of any of these, you can do it. For some characters, I will just straight up loop it like this, because blocking the cross up is really difficult. And even if they block the cross up, you're still advantageous. Let me set the opponent to all block. So we can like look at the frame data. So we're still +9 in this scenario. I don't know. I don't think it's technically a safe jump. So like if Baiken does parry, you'll still end up eating it. Or if the opponent does a parry or a reversal on the correct side, you're still eating it. But a lot of times a reversal at that spacing is not a big deal because you're going to get blown back pretty far. And it's tricky because you can obviously at any time still do same side. You can obviously just cross it over if you want to. And you can make it pretty ambiguous. I'm obviously messing up the timing, but you get the idea. So yeah, that setup is good for the cross up. And again, you're +9 on that meaty. So a lot of times what I'll do is you can straight up just start mixing and go straight for... Oopsies. You can do the overhead, and then you can do another overhead because it'll reach. And at +9, it's a pretty stringent gap that will usually get you airborne or up at that evasive state before they can hit a far slash or something. Or you can do the low, and it's just pretty hard to fuzzy that. Even though we can, it is a 7-frame difference, but I mean, it's just hard to deal with. That people are afraid of your overhead just as much as you are of baiken's parry. A couple of other things I noticed was, let's see, baiken was doing the tether better. How familiar are you with baiken's tether? Let me do it back. We can do... Okay. So baiken has 2 tethers. She's got the heavy version, which is this. It's really fast, and it pulls you in. The first hit is only -3. Everything just goes over your head. Fair enough. So tether, H, the heavy one, and it has a follow-up that can frame trap. The frame trap is -7 though, so you always get a 2k punish, so you should go straight into knockdown if you ever block this follow-up. And she can also hold it for a cross-up like this. That cross-up you can throw, but it is fast. So, oops. Why is that happening? Alright, we'll go back this way. What the heck? Why is that happening? Hold on. I seem to have reset my... Oh, I see. Reset, position, play. There we go. Sorry, I've messed all my buttons up. We want record, play. Alright. So, that's the H version. It's really difficult for Abba to deal with because she can space it out so heavily. And again, it's only -3. You're not whiff punishing it. It's basically completely disjointed. It's just something you have to deal with. I would recommend not trying to... You can't even really 6p it. I mean, you technically can, but it will just whiff at best. Blocking it is fine, though, because again, she's either -3 or -7, so you can take your turn afterwards. You can't parry in between. Her other option is the S tether, and you can see it pulls them all the way in, and she is +3 when you block it. Yeah. There's a lot of challenges. A lot of stuff that you were trying to go for in neutral. I think you have a lot of great ideas. It's just about trying to look for certain options from baiken. I could definitely tell that you were very afraid of the options that she was representing and trying to hit her as fast as possible. But sometimes it's best as Abba not to try to hit them as quickly as possible and let them come and run into your buttons. And I'll talk about that in a second. Talking about tether, it pulls her all the way in, and it is +3 for baiken. So she often will do either 5p, because that's a 1-frame frame trap. So if she does 5p after the tether, it's just real. It's a true thing. You're going to have to block it. Yeah. Letting them come to you is really good. Vikings will also do close slash. Since it has, what is it? 7 frames to start up on the +3. It's a 4-frame gap. So ABBA in particular can mash 2P if you think they're going to go for far slash. It's pretty risky though. Let me switch characters so I can show you what I'm talking about here. Largely the rock, paper, scissors for tether is either going to be, ideally you want a 6P tether. At close ranges, the 6P will just win. At further ranges, it will clash. So, for instance, let's set the counter attack on block to 6P. So now Abba's going to 6P when she blocks. So a lot of times, baiken will do like that, and you see it just wins. Same thing for normal mode. I'll switch her out of normal mode since that'll probably be more what you're used to. Oops. And it just will win. You can do it on reaction pretty late as well. It'll low profile pretty far. Same thing with like 5K, 6K. You can 6P there. Not that I would recommend doing it because she can obviously also do Tatami Mat, and that's one of her best counter hit starters. So off of all of those, baiken might do stuff like that, but she also might do Tatami Mat. So it's best to not just mash 6P. You want to try to specifically react to the tether. And if she does land tether on you, 5P is going to beat whatever you do. So a lot of times the RPS becomes either you think that they're going to do 5P and you backdash. And backdash will leave you at a slight disadvantage but spaced out. So you can continue blocking from the spaced out range, which is better for you. Or if you think that she's going to go for close slash, you can throw her. And now you get to run offense on her with the tether. Both of those are pretty high risk though. You can always just block. Blocking is not the end of the world. A lot of times what baiken will do once she lands the tether is like backdash jump S. And that's a pretty tricky to deal with overhead. So you just gotta be careful. It's mostly scary when it's on a knockdown and then she gets her crazy mix, but I'm not a expert to talk about her mix like that. No, if you block tether, you cannot jump. So if I set them to jump and then 5P and close slash will catch you jumping. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes I've seen baikens will 2K I believe it is. No, I guess not. Hello, Green. Thanks for joining. Jumping can be fine if they go for a low option, but they're really almost always going to go for 5P or they're going to go for close slash. And blocking close slash in the air makes her really plus, so that she can keep going for more mix-ups after it. Yeah, or throw. And obviously jumping will beat throw. I usually try to either backdash or block, or if I think they're going to go for close slash, then I throw. But most baikens are going to represent 5P as a layer 1, because again, it's a frame trap. It's the safest option. It beats everything except blocking or backdashing. I mean, you can deflect shield. You're just spending a lot of resources to push her out. I mean, let's say deflect shield. We're just getting out here, and it's like the tether pulls us back in. So what are you trying to accomplish? Because the baiken is also... Maybe the players you're playing against, but not for me, man. I don't have any success with that. I don't particularly love it, just because, like I said, you're throwing a lot of resources away. to try to hope that they go for strike. Because if they go for throw, then you just lose your burst, which is the only thing that actually gets you out of the mix. Celestial, I guess. That's where I've been playing them. The other thing, sludge that I saw was Baikens typically like to do air tatami mat, or they like to do this, which I need my dash macro real quick. Yeah, you do have a DP, so that is different. Yeah, DP beats a lot of those options. This is specifically for ABBA we're trying to talk about. Let me get my dash macro back because I'm so used to having it I can barely play without it. So, Baikens will often do like this, or they will just straight up IED jump S at you. This IED jump S punish backdash after whiffing the 5P. I don't think so. Let me double check. Block, backdash. Normal mode ABBA's backdash is pretty stinky, but I don't think so. Yeah. You're too far for Baiken to actually hit anything. Like that hit maybe you can get 5P. I don't think anything combos at that range though. Maybe she could do... Gosh, hold on. She can't do that. Oh, I see what you're saying. Check the advantage. That's fair. I'm so used to not having... I mean, it looks like it's pretty non-advantageous. 0 on hit. So we'd have to cancel into something. Yeah. I get that. Check advantage after whiff 5P. That's what I'm doing. Oh, it's 7. Oh, it's 11. Rip. That doesn't make sense. Waffle's here finally. So maybe you can. Let me check this. Never mind. Abba's backdash is stinky. I'm used to having Mei backdash, and I forget that Abba has the worst backdash in the game. So thanks for correcting me, Green. No, we have not. Mei's backdash is really good, for sure. So Sludge, if you don't react to tether, you're just going to want to either block or throw. If you think that they are going to do close slash, then you throw. If you think they're going to do anything else, then you should block. And most Baikens are not going to do close slash as a layer 1. But again, you should still be able to react on 6P, and I would just cancel straight into Rekka, because if you're far enough out, let me see if I can make it clash. Oh right, I need to set up to crouch block as well. So if it's really far out, it'll whiff. And if you're at a medium range... Oh right, I'm doing the wrong one, my bad. So you see it'll clash at further ranges, and then you can Rekka, and that usually will either reach or will beat whatever they're clash canceling into. A lot of times Baikens will want to clash cancel into far slash, so you can do a real cancel into Rekka and beat it. Ideally, in neutral, you typically just want to be waiting for the IED, jump S, because they're going to do it eventually. And it's just really good. Um, they ID jump S Yo's onsen is a double overhead, and as you can see, it's +1 block. And if she's even closer to the ground, it's even more plus. So she can make it up to like +3. It's all really good stuff. You don't want to be blocking this because it just lets her in to do, like the overhead stuff, or just go straight into the lows. Exactly. Yeah, if baiken is out at this range, there really isn't a lot that normal mode Abba is going to be doing to threaten her, because she can throw out this stuff, she can throw out Tatami's, and you're not going to be able to do anything about Tatami. So you're either waiting for her to ID at you, or you're just dash blocking in. Because when you dash block in, you're taking space from her, and she's either got to try to cross you up at some point, which she did this a couple times, and that's a cross up. Or, which I think 2S will beat that. It's kind of hard to set everything up in training mode. You could try. Yeah, she should be able to 2S the cross up. The back hit is better than the front hit. Yeah. I get that, Sludge. I think part of it is just you're afraid of what she does, and you're not sure what to look for. Because there was a lot of times in neutral where you were in Jealous Rage, you guys were about at this size of the screen, baiken jumps, and you would just run in and hit 2S or a Danzai or whatever it would take to try to hit them. And this baiken kept either just empty jumping and then doing parry, or they would jump and then do Yozansen and hit you cross up. Because you moved out of an advantageous position for yourself and into an advantageous position for baiken. So you either need to time your 2S's better, or stay at a better range. So for instance, for you, if you're in Jealous Rage, you typically want to be at like this range. Because baiken can't hit you with her far slash, but you can hit her with your heavy slash, which your heavy, or your own far slash, which your far slash is just better than hers. Yes, I mean Abba's Jealous Rage 5H range is excellent and definitely where you want to be, at the tipper of that range, which you were using to pretty good effect in that second match we watched. So you already know how to be at this range, and this is where you want to stand. If baiken jumps back, that's when you can, from this range, it's a lot easier to react with dash 2S or dash Danzai than it is from this range. Right? At this range, if baiken jumps, she has time to react to what you're doing. But if you're all the way this close, she has much less time to react to what you're about to throw at her. So you want to try to make sure that you're maintaining this range, and then you can go for your anti-airs or your run-up Danzais and stuff like that in neutral. Does that make sense? One thing that I want to point out is this as well. This is baiken's like main frame trap is Tatami. If you block, yeah, you're welcome. If you block both hits of Tatami, baiken is -3. Thank you. If you block just the second hit of Tatami, she's +4. So you want to either completely FD her out or don't FD her at all. So that way you can block both hits of Tatami. So like if she's in, that pushes you way out, and you can see it gives her more frame advantage. But if you're a little bit further out, you can kind of get away with moving at this range. Or if you let her stay close, then she will be negative, and you can start taking your turn back at -3. Obviously, you got to be careful though, because if she's at this range, she can do like the overhead off of 5k. She can't do it off 6k though. She can only do it off jump normals, so close slash and 5k are the only moves that she can threaten an overhead. So if she blocks 6k, she's either going to be doing a frame trap or she's going to stagger. I have seen, talking about Green's comment about greedy Baikens, I've definitely seen Baikens do like 5k, 6k, delay, and then do the overhead. Stuff is nasty. They're crazy for it. But a lot of Baikens will do it. So if they're starting to get away with that really greedy stuff, then you just got to check them with jabs, 6Ps, stuff of that nature. I mean, ABBA's 6P is just exceptional in every way. So abuse it and use it in this matchup for sure. A few other things I'd make a note of. Really, I don't think I've ever played Big Will before. Baiken's run speed got buffed in the most recent patch, but she overall is relatively slow. So stuff like Tipper 5H is usually fine. You just got to be careful not to whiff it. But even if you do whiff it, it's not the end of the world. Trying to stay at this range if you're in normal mode. A lot of times I just like to dash block and react to what they do. What's either going to happen when you dash block is that you're either going to get pushed back, or you're going to push them back and you're going to take screen space and gain meter, or they're then going to just try to aggress into you, and that gives you an opportunity to hit them. I think that's the main stuff. A couple of things I want to make a note of. I had made a comment when we were watching this that's about round start. ABBA's round start versus Baiken can be tricky because Baiken's far slash is going to beat ABBA's far slash. Baiken's far slash honestly beats most of what you're going to be doing. Almost everything, really. It's disjointed, it's fast, it's really good. I believe I have a chart. Let me double check. I'm pretty sure I made a chart of ABBA's round starts to see how they handled Baiken. Let me double check it real quick. ABBA's round start. And I'll post a link to her round start options in the chat. So against Baiken. Here, and I'll put this on the screen. Okay, I need to move it this way. Alright, well, I didn't even fill this chart out, so I don't know. That's unfortunate. I filled out a lot of other characters, but not Baiken apparently. Apparently I lost steam somewhere in this chart. But the pages that are filled out, they're there for you. Yeah. I would probably say micro walk back far slash because it pushes you forward. Hello, Anna. The sort of combat. We can definitely play in a little bit. Right now I'm doing VOD reviews for some people that submitted some for me. So come back in an hour. You're good. Yeah, walk back far slash is probably pretty good. Walk back 5H is really good. I mean, walk back 5H beats most everything that people will do other than stuff like jump forwards. So you just have to you want to use that walk back to react to what they're doing. But matching on round start is usually not the move for ABBA. There were some where you can do like 2D on round start, but against Baiken, it's just far slash is just going to beat everything that ABBA is going to want to push on round start. Okay. Thank you for asking that, Green. Yeah, walk back is great, in my opinion. She can't micro walk back. Let me try this out real quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set the training bot to... Okay, just hard? Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, I was like, she should be able to. We'll do... recording settings... It goes into 5.8, yeah. 5H will work on a lot of stuff in general. To do this, I'm trying to remember how to set this up. Counterattack, after position resets, /, and then position reset, round call. So stuff like, you can do that to beat baiken's /. You can also just do walk back / or 5H in general. Baiken will most likely block the 5H, but you can do stuff like that. I used to do a lot of that when I played Bike or Abba a lot, and you can see it's pretty safe. Even if they block the 5H, it's not a big deal. So you can kind of just keep going. You can do 236K as well as a buffer option. It's pretty that's pretty bad. So maybe not that one, but walk back / does work, and it's pretty good. I keep messing up the record more than anything. So like that's a great round sword opener, obviously. Walking back and reacting with / is really good. The advantage of walking back is if they start to jump or do something, you're already committed to like blocking or walking and looking, so you can go for 2S or there you go. So you got a combo already, or 6B. And it's like I said, it's less dangerous. The main thing is when you're playing ABBA is you just want to not get hit and hit them, right? And so the more opportunities you give yourself, the better. I'm sure there's a way to break the wall there. I think I remember one at one point, but I don't remember it right now. Okay. I think we talked a lot about baiken. Do you have any more questions about this one? I think we had one more round to watch of yours, and then we'll move on to another VOD. Here we go. Alright. Well, we need Guilty here to be quiet while we watch this. Yeah, you're very welcome. Let's watch the last round with the stuff we talked about in mind and see if we can find the ways in which you can use it to improve. So jump forward, round start. Great block on the tether.
They are chained to a jealous age AVA.
So there was another scenario we were talking about before. Baiken bursts you out to here. And so this is where we're at the full screen scenario we were talking about. This is the time. Thank you, Green. This is the time that you would want to try to dash in to your tipper / range, 5H range, and just dash to that range and see what they do. So she jumped back. You ran in and did a big move of Donzai, even though you weren't in range. Right, so you didn't block him, you whiffed it. And then they jumped back, ID, jump S, and they counter hit you because you backdash and try to hit a button. I can't quite tell which button you pressed. Let me see if I can see it. I can't even tell. If you had not have backdashed, you could have 6P'd them or 2S'd them out of the air. And then, let's see here. They also baited your burst, which sucks, but it happens.
Able to get a counter. Hey, bait the
And
burst
they get their
back.
punish. Let's see what you do.
Oh, baiting that burst. Oh, it hurts.
I'm going to assume that
Burst out.
2P into parry is a
Oh, did this get backed up?
misinput, but you recovered. Never punished. We take those.
This
And this is
Danza
great.
is going to catch hard into that super.
So, I see.
This is gonna be a lot.
Long hits, getting a lot of corner pressure in here.
So, two things. Let's back up here real quick.
Going to catch hard into that
You get a hard knockdown here. You could have gotten OTG close slash, which sets up an auto time the fuzzy setup, or you can do like IED jump H for the. It doesn't cross up here, but it can still work just fine. I prefer doing close slash OTG into hop forward. That stuff is really good. Ideally, you don't want to just sit and wait, though. There's more damage and setups that you can go for. So you jumped and did jump H. It looks like you probably tried to do the close slash setup. Gotcha.
This is Danza.
I mean, a lot of times your close slash is so fast, it's fine to just try it. But this rising jump H like you did there is unsafe. So they could have thrown punish you or done a variety of other things there. So it ended up being fine, but it could have been real bad. You do the overhead, awesome. There was another OTG scenario. You got the setup. You ran up and did OTG 2K into overhead, which obviously the overhead whiffs. Typically, again, you want to go for close slash on your OTG and then jump and do the fuzzy setup.
Long hits, getting a lot of corner pressure in here.
Fortunately, they don't block any of it, and you're golden.
This should. Okay, it does.
Blood able to kill. Bringing it back. 1-1 game.
Let's keep
5.
looking here.
No matter what, we are seeing our winner right now.
So another time you just got hit there. So round start,
Game 5.
you did 236K, which has been fine because they haven't been representing anything. Panic mixed up as 2K and hop. That's fair enough. So here we are on this round start again.
1-1 game 5. No matter what, we are seeing.
You whiffed the 236K. You tried to anti-air them, and they backdashed it, so they're playing safe. This is a fine range to be at for baiken, more so than you, but I mean, it's fine.
Our winner
They
right
backdash again, and you go for 2H. I'm not sure why you did 2H. But now they go,
now.
and they get to whiff punish you for free, because you're panicking about it. And now they get to run a mix, which they didn't even confirm into the proper mix for themselves off the hard knockdown. They're going for a cross up. So if you... Yeah, I get that it was accidental. I'm not saying it was intentional. But something to keep in mind is just these are misinputs that cost you having to be on defense against baiken, which is scary. So they did a cross up setup. Just being mindful of when baiken's air dash will cross you up and not will save you from this.
No matter what, we are
This
seeing our winner right now.
hard knockdown into dash then IED I knew was going to cross up, and that's something that you can pretty reliably block on reaction. They get their mix up, they go for a knockdown,
Great
now they do same side. Yeah, I get that. Cross ups can be definitely difficult to get used to.
damage there for XR.
And the other player messed up their
Absolutely
throw, which sucks. You messed up your confirm, so that's something to work on.
Okay. A little bit of back and forth while that skeleton just.
And so there was that run up Donzai again. So let's look at this here.
A little bit of back and forth while that.
So we've bursted. Now we are back at full screen again. And same thing as last time. You just run right in and Donzai. Just like last time. XR backdashed and then jumped. But previously they just jumped back. And they were primed to air dash and punish you just like they did last time. You spent meter to save yourself, which is good.
Yeah, incredibly even
And you got the pickup. Well, you dropped the combo, but you know what happens.
Stop that Yo Johnson with a cross-up. Comes
So let's talk about this here.
even right here. Sludge
This is good awareness to uninstall. I'm not sure why you jumped, but that's okay. And then you reinstall here. A lot of times, this is just my personal opinion when it comes to it, is if you are going to, if you notice that you're low on rage and you feel the need to uninstall, then you probably don't have enough rage to properly go back into install and run offense again. So like, let's see how this plays out. They
Tungsten was
block the
downside.
Donzai, and they're just running away from you. They get one singular hit,
That's fast.
and now you're back out of Jealous Rage again. If you before had stayed out of Jealous Rage and just played in normal mode, you would have had more Jealous Rage and opportunities without having to feel the pressure to go kill them. Because I get it, when you play ABBA and you're low on Jealous Rage, the desire to hit them right now is really strong. But staying in normal mode and just standing there menacingly like Patrick on the street is going to be your best friend.
Okay, the 2S into another meter sequence. Look at all
You
that.
cashed out pretty hard on that combo,
Some
which
great
is
damage.
fine.
5
You
sludge
could have
there.
gotten the wall break without
Tungsten
cashing
with
out
a
on your
lot of
Wild
Jealous
Assault, but it
Rage.
is
Able to get
fine.
another
You win.
pickup
We take
right
those
off
for
the
sure.
bat, and that is
Yeah,
able to take it full start.
that is 2-2, tying it up again for another game 5.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, getting in Jealous Rage is really hard to deal with, and a lot of people are not going to be able to deal with Abba's Jealous Rage, especially if you clean up your offense. You'll be able to just steamroll anybody with it. So, all right, great. I think overall you got a lot of good ideas. You were very close, obviously, to winning that set. Why do you feel embarrassed about your VOD? You're doing just fine. Oh, Lord have mercy. You're welcome. Let's pull one over from Waffle since he's been waiting so patiently. And he's my ride or die. Oh my goodness, it's Timmy.